decentralization, that political decentralization is it's being synonymous with the democratic decentralization or the devolution, and this kind of a devolution power responsibilities are devolved to the elected local government. Is that called, like for example, elected authorities, decision making and enforcement power, citizen participation, accountability and transparency, these are all comes under the political, political decentralization. So mostly political decentralization, what used to do is that it is a focus upon the transfer of power from central to local authority. And if you come into the administrative decentralization. Administrative decentralization is the responsibilities and function in the sense regulating, operating and financing and the own staff and the own assets. Okay, it's a kind of a functional responsibility. You can say that administrative responsibility is a kind of functional responsibility from central to local government, and fiscal decentralization is transferring financial resources to the different levels of government. So, however, if you see that despite the that existence difference between among these components of concept of decentralization, they are implemented together to ensure the positive synergized effect. Okay, as a effective and efficient government, or that if you want to become a efficient decentralization, you need the political decentralization also, administrative decentralization also, fiscal decentralization also. When it comes to political decentralization in the elected authority, and the decision making power has been vested with the local level people, the citizen participation, that is kind of accountability and transparency. The administrative transparency is that focus upon the shared responsibility in the offices, and the fiscal decentralization, because that one of the most important component. So if you have all the three decentralization in synchronized, that would be a maximum that benefit for the all economic agents. And also mostly if you look into that, decentralization is a kind of a preference, preferred governance reform worldwide. If you look into the social, political and economic development, that when it comes to why it is more important, decentralization, it helps more of local democratic control, and the greater efficiency in public service delivery, and the accountability of regional and development policy. And also it can bring the public sector efficiency, democratization and political stability. And we can achieve the effective local government policies. The local level people are, that we can bring the citizen participation, bringing government closer to the citizens. And also, and another thing is that it will bring the direct and indirect benefits and challenges. The direct effects of decentralization include improvements in the service level, quality and the efficiency of public services. If you come to the indirect effect of decentralization, include it used to be faster economic growth and better stability of the society, and the direct outcomes of the decentralization, such as you can say that better education growth, or you can say that high population and the high level decision making authority. And another thing we can achieve is that through proper decentralization, the effective, if you carried out effective local level policies as the sectors, they can do the policies in a better need, so that it will be help. It is kind of that the policy making process at the start at the lower level. So decentralization is the that it is a mechanism to provide with the public policy, and also it is a that implemented at the particular unit can spill over effect from the it bring the good practices. And also, so through this concept has various advantages. In order to recap the benefits, and the prerequisite for effective functioning of the decentralization is the functional autonomy of the local government, supported by the appropriate financial resources. And also, so now we look into that, move into the decentralization in the context of the socio-economic issue. So how the that decentralization is linked into how social economic concentration, and how it can contribute increase the social welfare that and the citizens in terms of addressing needs of the women, children, marginalized sections like SCs and STs, and the improved social indicators such as the health, education, and improved economic situation by promoting employment, income generation, and alleviating poverty. And also, despite that the decentralization, that it will help the attaining the such socio-economic issues, it is a kind of integral part of administration, that it is represented through the various territorial differentiation and kind of a dispersion. In political science and public administration, decentralization has been discussed in the viewpoint of arrangement of government and the arrangement of government in the central, state, and the local level. At the local level, there is a kind of a differentiation and dispersal of units in the district, block, and village level as the government. In India, that through though local governments, both urban and rural governments have been existed since in historical time, the decentralized mechanism lost its in that since colonial times, and the structure and the functions of local government have mostly remained weak in the 1990s. So the 73rd and the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992 were landmark measures in the history of local governments, that which provided a constitutional status to the rural and urban local body, respectively, to engage their own socio-economic development. That with passing the Constitutional Amendment Act, at certain provisions have made the Panchayat Raj institution and the local level bodies, and they have mentioned that some of them are that compulsory. If you look into the key features of the amendment, like one is that in the rural level there should be 3 levels is there: village, block, and the district panchayat. And when it comes urban, there is a municipal corporation, municipal council, and the nagar panchayat also there. And another important features of this act is that direct election at the levels of PRIs and the ULBS. And when it comes to another important concept is the 1/3 of seats for reserved for the women, and the proportional reservation for the SCs, STs, and Grama Sabha, that is the deliberate body of grassroots democracy, and the state election commission for conducting regular local body elections, and strengthening that state finance commission to strengthening the local finance commission, and the district planning committee to consolidate the local development plans. So these was the key features of the that 73rd and the 74th amendment. And also other than that, in the schedules, that 11th and 12th of the constitution, there is a kind of a 29 and the 18 functions are considered for the panchayat and the municipality to entrusted to the activities to the local government. Okay, such function entrusted to the local governments have been classified as the socio-economic function. Other function can be developed in the that various level. And also, so these are the key features of the 73rd and 74th amendment. Now let's move into the what are the role of self-government, local self-government. Here I have point out in some important key feature. As I already said that that decentralization is the rural and urban government, that it will help the address the socio-economic issues. The socio-economic issues, that there are various issues are there: citizen welfare, gender concern, education, health, and employment generation, poverty alleviation. So in this context, that first we will go about the citizens welfare. The citizen welfare is the that it is a major role is to protecting the welfare of citizens, that in general, and also in particular about the weaker sections, particular about the women, SCs, and STs, that so that their fair share of public votes. In this context, that reservation for the weaker section in panchayat and municipality is effective tool for to safeguard the citizen. That reservation in the local government would increase the political level participation. If you look into the data in in Rajasthan and that West Bengal, it is noted that the women leaders of panchayat who emerged from the reservation seats and laid their focus on the aspect of beneficial for women, such as the road, water, drinking water, other than areas which is least interest to the women. When it comes to poverty alleviation, Decentralization is the, that major aim of the decentralization is the key reducing the poverty. So the decentralization model followed in Madhya Pradesh has lessons for the poverty elevation in India. In Madhya Pradesh, what happened is that a plan has been worked out for the decentralizing urban, that development, and focus is most on leading cities, state, rather than developing a few model large cities. So focusing upon development of both rural and urban areas across the state is the, that it has reduced the urban dominance in the state. So such, that a holistic approach to urban development initiate the scope for the regional bias and also create employment generation at the local level also. So when it comes to gender concern, as I already mentioned that, due to reservation, that adequate representation women, that local body election is the effective mechanism, such as the people can participate in that for their own development. But however, that decentralization alone is not a, that condition in a society. Because there is a discrimination based upon the caste and the class and the patriarchy. So the experience of women in decentralized water governance in Maharashtra, that it gives the mixed response, where some women used to suffer with, that addition of patriarchal imposition, and while a hand of few have been raised their voice, and many have not said in water governance, but still they are enjoying the public place, and also that. So, and when they got a chance to attend the Pani Samiti, that is the water committee meetings, it also, that it improved the, empowered them also, and they got a decision making power at the local level. So another important component or role of local self-government is the disaster management. Disaster management is in the context of disaster management, that local level institutions are very closer to the people. The first respondent to the disaster management is that is the community, and the community level institution and the panchayat level institution. So they can lead in the preparedness, response, and the rehabilitation. And if you look into the aspects of Kerala, that they have used an effective use of local level planning funds, and also. So another important thing is that pandemic response. If you look into the COVID-19 response, the many districts in different states deal with, that containing the, that pandemic. So it was recognized that the decentralization of powers and resources and women empowerment is the one of the reasons to fight against the COVID, and also. So some of the measures taken by the, that self-government, that it handled the pandemic way, setting up and management of kitchens, community kitchens, and during lockdown, and cleaning and dysfunction activity, and break the chain activity. So many things were done by the local level institution. And when it comes to urban housing in the sense that it have to promote inclusive and the sustainable housing. So that is a more important one. And another thing is that environmental practices, so that it will be improve the urban living conditions, and also. So these are the, that some of the key socio-economic development activities I have mentioned it to, that role of the local self-government. When it comes to, that how to improve the ways of governance to affecting the decentralization. One is that relaxed control. So what do you mean by relaxed control? The central government, that they have to shift the direct service delivery to the enabling and the facilitator role, and they have to give more importance to the local level institution. Integration in the sense integration of local government departments to improve the coordination and the effective service delivery, and the accountability in the sense you have need of transparent, and you have to conduct a regular election, social audit, so that they have to do it, and the capacity building that improve the political, administrative, financial capacity. And the real devolution lies in that function, finance and function is, and also. So that if you come towards the end, effective decentralization requires it is a political commitment, institutional support, and the adequate resources and the capacity building of the participation and the accountability. And it is the one of the that major role for the effective governance mechanism is the decentralization. And also, so thank you, thanks for listening.
Hello students, welcome to the tutorial on use of content designators in WinISIS. Here we will be discussing how content designator can be utilized in CDS-ISIS for Windows for creating efficient bibliographical databases. You know, anyone can learn how to create a database in CDS-ISIS. It's a very simple 4 steps activities. First you create your database through FDT, then you design your worksheet, then you switch over to create the display format, and finally you create the FST file. So these 4 steps are actually associated with the designing a database of CDS-ISIS and can be learned by anyone. But the real challenge of developing bibliographical database in CDS-ISIS is development of standard bibliographical databases by utilizing global standards like Common Communication Format, like Mark 21 format, like Unimark. Otherwise, if you are using